you know, I can't speak to that, but I don't have ear. But apparently, you know, he had his hair braided, and they put some kind of chemical, I don't know, some whole juice, I don't know what y'all call it. But with the sweat and the heat and all, it ran down into his eyes. And when he came, he turned around, he took a knee, and he was complaining about his eyes burning. And when Calvin wiped his eyes, it was still burning. So that's what happened in that situation. That caught all of us off guard. In the amateurs, you can get away with that.
Hey, Coach Barry.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
This is Summer with Summertime Productions. I wanted to know if you agreed with the outcome of the fight and if you thought that them knowing each other and growing up together contributed to the performance.
Yes and no. I thought that Tank was boxing early on. I thought we abandoned our jab somewhat in the fight a little bit. But down the stretch, I thought maybe, I believe, 2 or 3 rounds, I can't remember, Calvin, was one of the rounds that...
We needed 3 rounds. He just went down, he just, like you said, we looked at 3 rounds. Bryan was calling out, yo, I need 3. We got 1. I need 2. He got the 2. But he forgot where he was at. He thought he was still in the 8th round. He thought he still had rounds to go.
Thought he still had rounds to go.
His
Thought he
breathing
was
was
in the
good in
8th
the
round.
corner. He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up.
Right. And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that. But nevertheless, I think that made that fight a draw.
This question is for Coach Calvin Ford. This is Matt from Brunch Boxing. Now, we know that Tank has talked in the past about retiring, leaving the game of boxing. As someone that's had Tank since basically he was a pup and you raised him as a boxer and a man, what would you like to see Tank do after tonight?
I like to see Tank to do what he want to do. I said at the last press conference. Y'all gotta understand, them guys been doing this since they were little. This might energize them again.
Oh yeah. In fact, he backstage right now talking about he want a rematch.
Backstage, he want to go to the gym right now.
Yes, that's what he said. So I think that retirement stuff's out the door.
Yeah, so.
Right here.
Chris Murray, Philadelphia Sunday Sun. I gotta ask this question in the sense that you said, this is for Calvin Ford and for Coach Barry as well. You said before the fight that you wanted to see him take his game to another level. What didn't he do in this fight that that you felt he could have done and whatnot, and pretty much opened the fight up to being a draw?
Well, like I said again, they've been knowing each other since they were little. Roach, he stepped up for the cause. He stepped up. You know what I'm saying? And again, Tank history, I always sit there and tell you, I don't like knockouts, like punishment. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes things got to happen to make you get back to where you belong at. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good, skillful ass fight. Skillful. Both of them want to take certain chances. Some of them take chances. You know what I'm saying? We seen, it was like we was on a boat and it was just like this, you know? But we thought he could have did more.
Thought he could have did more, and hat go off to Lamont Roach. Yeah. You know, I mean, he was prepared. Yeah. There were shots that he took that the average person would have went out on, and he took pretty much. Tank was sitting on the uppercut, and he threw it, and he was able to catch some of those uppercuts. So yeah, you know, you got to give him credit.
Right here.
Hey guys, this is Will. Now what? It is what it is. Going back home, who's going to have the bragging rights?
Well, both of us back to they was at it again. Nobody won. Nobody won. He just said, they said, I didn't get knocked out. That's the only thing that's good to say. I didn't get knocked out. Maybe that was his championship, because he did. You know what I'm saying? And he fought a brilliant fight. Salute goes off to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank was talking about retiring and stuff. That might change now. We don't know. We have to wait and see.
To the Tank's credit, I don't know if you guys know, but Amanda Serrano suffered the same issue during the fight last year. Well, before the fight started, she got braids. the chemicals leaked in her eye, and her fight had to be canceled. Like on fight night. So whatever he was going through, I'm pretty sure it was real. Now, do you feel that Tank, because he's known as a knockout artist and he's shown the world that he's one of the best pound-for-pound punchers in the world, that he does start off slow? That's a narrative, that he starts off slow, waiting for that one shot. Does he give away too many rounds early because of that?
You gonna be there or you there?
I'll take it. I actually, if you notice, this time in the fight, instead of him just totally just standing, there were times where they looked like they were going to engage in inside fighting, right? And I thought he stayed there a little bit too long. But for the most part, he was moving a lot in that fight tonight. You know what I mean? And to move the way he was moving and to think it was 8 rounds when it was going into the 12, you know what I mean? Let me know being in shape wasn't an issue. You know what I mean? I just think it was a lack of focus down the stretch. I thought and I asked for just a little bit more, turn up just a little bit more. And I thought we could have, done a little bit more damage.
And to piggyback on it, I think Tank did pick it up at the beginning round. So they was both even. If you watch the fight, they was both watching each other. Sometimes they stood right in front of each other. It was just trying to figure out where the holes was at. It was a very skillful fight.
And which is one of the things that when you fight somebody that you know that well, you don't have that advantage or that element of surprise because they know you just like you know them.
Coach Barry or Coach Calvin, again, this is KG with Fight Hype. I just want to ask you guys, because I've heard you both say a few times, during this conversation that there was a lack of focus. Prior to the fight, Tank had talked about retirement. We wouldn't call it a coaching change, in much respect to you guys, but just a switch in what was normal for Tank. Where do you think the lack of focus is coming from, or what do you think impacted his focus tonight during the fight?
Calvin spoke earlier when he was saying that he wants Tank to do what Tank wants to do. And when you think about the fight as a whole, the little whatever that stuff is you say Serrano got in her eyes, I think once that happened, he started thinking about this stuff in my eyes and this man's still coming and I don't want to get caught with something. So I thought he started paying more attention to the juice running into his eyes than Lamont Roach himself.
Anyone else?
Raise your hand if you have a question.
Over there in the back, 1 second.
Coach Calvin, you was there with Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach when they fought in the amateurs. And how do you compare that fight to how they fought now? Was it a similar fight? Or was that much of a difference?
Funny that you asked. I seen a glimpse of it. When they was holding each other down, spinning each other. But it was parts in there, right? I really seen the dump side of being a professional boxer. They was both being on point. You know what I'm saying? Lamont was doing what he was supposed to do. He really stepped up to actually do what he was supposed to do. He stayed busy. You know what I'm saying? Tank was coming back, sitting the sound. His shots, Tank's shots was incredible. He was hitting Lamont with some nice shots that, like we said, we thought he would have went out with.
And he took him.
He took him. And in his mind, he said, Tank is not going to knock me out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a victory for him. And if you look at it, that was a very skillful fight that we watched. That Tank had to do 12 rounds.
Over here. Barry, I wanted to ask you, Tank said that he didn't want to get caught with nothing late. Do you think that Lamont Roach's power was bothering him at any point? Do you think that Tank was buzzed at any point during the fight?
He said to us in the back, he wasn't buzzed. There was, I don't know what round it was, and he fell in and pulled out, and Lamont Roach countered with, I believe it was a right hand, right? When he came back to the corner, he said, he caught me one time. And it definitely, he felt that shot. But for the most part, other than that, he thought that he could see most of the punches coming. That was the only punch that got his attention. Yes.
Hey, this question is for Coach Galvin. You often assess a number of the fights that Tank has had over the course of his career, and one of them that stood out to you was his fight against Hector Luis Garcia when it came to a skill perspective. Yeah. So here in this one, how does that like compare to
Not like that because their defense was real. If you watch both of them defense, man, both of them was letting some shots go. They just didn't want to take chances.
Yes.
They didn't want to take chances because they feel somebody can get seriously hurt. And when you did hear them throwing some stuff, everybody, ooh, wow. So I think Lamont used his jab more than Tank.
Yes, he did.
But other than that, Tank power shots was getting it.
Anybody else?
Congrats to you guys for completing this mission, first off. It seems like I can see you guys have a whole lot of love for Lamont because it seems like you're on both sides right now, looking at from both sides, coaching the fight. But I want to know, at that last second, were you worried that we might have lost this fight?
No, I didn't think we lost the fight. I knew it was close. Like Calvin said, I think I asked for 3 rounds. We need these 3. I need these 2. You know what I mean? He's thinking that he got a couple more rounds to go. But I didn't think, I knew it was a close fight. And I thought we pulled out the last couple of rounds. But nowhere in my thinking that I thought we were going to lose the fight.
No, that never ran across my mind. Because like I said again, both of them came up in the same era. Lamont was just a year behind. And like I said again, it was a good fight.
And Barack, the reason why like you heard, we got a lot of love for Lamont and his team and his crew. We didn't give him credit where it's due. I mean, I cannot take away.
We don't see honesty like
right, where this guy, he can fight. You know what I mean? And we so used to seeing Tank knock everybody out, you know what I mean? When he goes the distance, you know what I mean, it's a shock. Or he lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what, but I would never get up here in front of y'all or anybody else and tell a lie about this man couldn't fight. Yeah. I knew that going into it.
Everybody knew. Everybody said that. They knew. I even told y'all, I said, y'all think that, I said it. I said, this is going to be a good fight. And Lamont really worked hard. He put everything on the line. And I said it in the last press conference, I said, listen, man, we're going to see a good fight.
That's right.
In the center, second row.
Coach Barry, Coach Calvin, you guys collaborated on this fight to get Gervonta ready. You both built world champions from scratch from the beginning, but there was a change in the coaching dynamic. The first 30 fights of Tank's career, Calvin's the lead trainer and everything. Did that have anything? Did any of the coaching dynamics? Because people will wonder that. Did it have anything to do with Tank, not performing the way people are used to?
I'm not gonna let nobody put that in my head. I'm not gonna let nobody put that in his head.
That's right. And you say the first 30, if you go back to the first half of his career, I was there. You know what I mean? So, like he said, and if you look at the fight, we all was speaking the whole time. So, I don't think that was a fact.
Any more questions?
Any more questions for either Coach Calvin Ford or Coach Barry Hunter?
You guys hang there. They said he's like.
All right, guys. So we'll have Coach Barry Hunter and Coach Calvin Ford wait up here as Gervonta is getting ready and should be up here to the podium.